All right, so part three, or part four actually, of my experience at Bethel. I left off that I, was officially removed from being a pioneer, servant, all of that. And I was told to, make arrangements to go home. I had to tell my dad and my family that I was being sent home, um, and arrange for them to pick me up. My dad was going to come pick me up. Um, I and they allowed me to pick my own end date. But before I continue this, there was a few other things I wanted to mention about uh, that I forgot that I left out in the last story, and how just Bethel is a 9 to 5 job, essentially. So Bethel, I worked, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. like any other job. Uh, I worked my ass off in the bindery, sweated a lot. And I also worked overtime. We had shift work. Sometimes we would get the morning shift. Sometimes we would get the evening shift if they were pushing for a publication. And sometimes we'd miss meetings. There was, some weeks where I'd miss meetings for 3 or 4, a whole month, because we were working on a publication. And we could watch the meetings on, like a recorded version of our meetings, on the Bethel TV when we got back to our rooms. But more than likely we didn't, because we're so busy. We have to do other things as well. We have to get up and go to work the next morning. But that's, Bethel is nothing special. It's just a 9 to 5 job, and you don't get paid anything for it. That's basically what Bethel is. Now, that being said, going back to my story of me leaving, the last day that I spent at Bethel, because the very next day my dad was on his way to pick me up. He was driving his way up. The last day at Bethel, some friends invited me over to their residence in the C-Res at Walk Hill. And these were friends I trusted. Like, for the most part, they were pretty good friends. I looked up to them spiritually. They had been at Bethel for a long time. And, not a long time, but longer than me. And they were spiritual people, to the best of my knowledge. But we just had a little gathering, like, for me leaving. And this one brother who really liked to make mixed drinks. He was really good at it, apparently. That's what a lot of people said. Kept giving me drink after drink. And all these drinks had names like Japanese Long Island tea or something. And there was a AMF, adios motherfucker. That was one of the drinks he gave me. Mixed with triple sec and Everclear, and just mixed with all these alcohols. All right. Now, some haters will probably say, and I've actually had some people, because I've shared this experience on with other people, and they're like, "Oh, you should have known your limits. You should have. You're a bad Christian for drinking that much. You can't blame them." I'm like, okay. Should I have stopped drinking at a certain point? Maybe, but I had just turned 21, and I trusted these people, and I hadn't really drank before. I had drinking, before then. I had turned 21. I drank like before the Gilead meal, and like occasionally a beer here and there. But I would never say I'd ever gotten drunk until that point. So this brother kept. So I didn't know my limits, basically. This brother kept giving me drink after drink. I probably had four drinks, maybe 5, and they were red Solo cup and filled to the brim. And I drank. I didn't eat a lot. It was just like snack food that we were eating, so that also affected the effect of alcohol on me. But I kept just drinking it, because everybody else was kind of drinking. And sure, I probably gave in to peer pressure. but it creeps up on you, especially as a new drinker or someone who had no experience with alcohol. They should not have been giving me those drinks. I wouldn't, me personally, if I ever was hanging out with someone and it was their first time drinking, I'm not going to give them that. I'm not going to push them to keep drinking. But anytime I finished one, he would have one ready and gave it to me. So at one point, I just blacked out. I remember just feeling really tired or just woozy. I don't know. I just fell asleep in the chair. And next thing I know, I wake up and I run to the bathroom in their room and I vomited. I thought I made it in the toilet. Apparently, I didn't. I vomited on the ground. I missed the toilet. I vomited on my shirt, on my pants. And, it was really embarrassing. And most of them just laughed. They laughed. They jeered me. They're like, first time drinking, or like first time you found your limit or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember what they said, to be honest. But the general feeling from most of them was that they didn't really care. They thought it was funny. There was only two people that really looked out for me, and one was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Jonathan. We went too far. We gave you too much to drink. I'm sorry." And he kept apologizing. And that guy is a good guy. Like, I don't know how he's doing today, but he was a good guy. And they're like, maybe it's time, everybody go home. It was pretty late in the night, and my friend, one of my close friends, had to walk me home. And I lived in the mobile homes at Walk Hill. A lot of people don't know this, that there's a set of mobile homes. I don't know if they've gotten rid of them, but when I was there were some mobile homes that were detached from the Walk Hill residences that were there. They were supposed to be there temporarily for like a construction project, and they never got rid of them, and they decided to house Bethelites there. Now, if you knew the size of these things, they're really small. Like, it's just, you don't even have a living room. You open the door and there's two beds, your TV over there, and on this side the kitchen and a bathroom, all in like one little lane. It's so small. Like, it is so small. But that is the residence I lived in. And my friend had to walk me to my the mods. They call them the mods. So he's walking me. I'm walking through Bethel hallways. They helped clean up most of the vomit on me, but you could obviously see like I had vomited or something, and some of it was still in my pants. And I had a huge Sprite bottle because I just wanted to replace all the alcohol that was in me. I just needed liquids, so I kept drinking, and he was leading me through the hallways, and thankfully no one saw me. It was kind of late at night, and I remember being so afraid because I had never felt like this before, and nor do I ever want to feel like that ever again. I have never gotten that drunk ever. I don't even drink anymore. I don't. I think drinking is harmful. I think it harms your liver, and it's literally poison for yourself. Do I think drinking in moderation is fine? Sure. Yeah, I don't think there's anything, but for me, it's not for me. I don't like to drink, and that's that. But I told him, like, can I come over to your place tonight? Like, I was afraid to go to sleep because I felt so dizzy, so weird. I just did not like feeling like, he's like, no, you gotta go to your room, go home, man. And I was like, okay. So I went to my room, went in the bathroom, and just like sat on the toilet. The whole world was spinning around me, and I felt like I was on a ship. I was like, I don't ever want to feel this way again. That's what I kept telling myself, I don't ever want to feel this way. Can't believe people get drunk. It's just disgusting. I feel sick. I don't feel good. I want this to be over with. And next, I don't even remember what happened next, but I was supposed to leave the next day. My dad was coming to pick me up. So I crawled into bed and set an alarm, and I got up, terrible, terrible hangover, and I don't even remember. Like I kind of I changed my shirt and everything, but I don't remember changing my pants. No, I changed my clothes. I just didn't have time to wash them. And I remember I didn't have much belongings. I packed it all up in a bag, all in some boxes and everything. And my dad, pulled into the parking lot, and I put all my stuff in the car, and he took me home. And it was just a quiet car ride home. Like, I had been telling them what was happening, the 4 month investigation stuff, and they were low key very upset about this. They were like, they knew it was kind of unjust, that this wasn't fair. But at the end of the day, it was just like, this is what the organization has decided. This is what, and the counsel that I need, I guess. That's the way I took it, and that's the way they took it. And I got home. I went to the same congregation that my ex was. I went back to it because, that was the congregation I was most familiar with. I'm not going to change congregations because of something, but that was that. Now, when I got back home, the brothers, the first thing the brothers wanted to figure out is if I was following counsel that the branch gave me. Now, like, they kept giving me shepherding visits, or like, you don't disagree with any of the counsel, do you? I was like, I wanted to say yes so badly, but I was just determined to be a good and obedient slave. And I said, no, I don't disagree with it. If this is what the counsel I need, I'll take it. I'm not trying to be rebellious or disagree with what the counsel I need. If they say I ended an engagement, I ended an engagement. I wasn't aware that I was engaged. We never but if that's what you guys say, then I'm repentant and I'm sorry. And they were like, okay, we're just making sure that you don't disagree with the counsel or whatever. And I remember something the Bethel elders told me when they gave me like the final confirmation that I would lose all my privileges. They were like, Jonathan, you've been honest with us, you've been truthful, and you've accepted all the counsel. They said, this is just a temporary bump. Like, we don't see why you wouldn't be a servant again in 6 months. Because I think that was a time limit. I had to have like 6 months before I could be appointed any title again. They're like, we think you could get appointed just like that. We're going to tell your elders that you guys, you accepted the counsel and you're very reasonable. And, so that's what I did. That's what I believed. I believed I could get everything back in 6 months. I was determined. I'm a faithful person and hardworking. So I as soon as I could pioneer again, I pioneered, but I wasn't, appointed as a servant for maybe like 2 more years. I don't know why. Like, I would talk to the elders every now and then. I'd be like, hey, I really want to reach out again. I really want to be a servant. I have more ways that I want to serve. I was told that this would just be a temporary bump, and they're like, well, what happened was really bad, and sometimes time is just needed to ease the pain for those who are affected. I'm like, I'm affected too. I loved her. I did not want to break up with her. And I forgot to mention this, but another thing before I left Bethel is that sister. One of the things that probably got my privileges removed is that the elders at Bethel told me that they had heard that there was gossip around me breaking up with her, that the congregation knew about it, and that kind of can affect your exemplary status. Like, if it was lesser known, they said I might not have got my privileges removed. But when I was texting her on the side, she would say, oh, the whole congregation knows, like, that we broke up and they're upset. Like, this is a terrible thing and stuff. And when I got back to the Kingdom Hall, people didn't even know we broke up. I talked to, they would ask me like, "Oh, how are you and so doing?" I'm like, "You didn't hear?" I was like, "We broke up. I broke up with her." And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know." None of these people knew there was engagement because there never was. None of these people knew we broke up because it wasn't scandalous like they had sent the letter, like the letter they had sent to Bethel. I was like, I was so frustrated, but you cannot understand that I had to bite my tongue to get any type of privilege back. I could not express any grievances or anything, or else I would be considered rebellious or like not. I wasn't accepting counsel for whatever reason. I just stayed quiet. And what's even worse is that when I was trying to get my privileges back, I would see her posts like on Pinterest or on her Instagram, like because she had a brother, and I would try to. I actually liked her brother. Like her brother was a good dude. He served at Bethel before, and like we kind of shared some interests together. And I would talk to him and stuff, you know. And then she would post things like, "Oh, when your ex still tries to be friends with your family," you know. And it was like some meme, basically just making fun of me. And she would post things on Pinterest like, "Oh, why, you know, when your ex lies to you and abuses you, or just ridiculous things like." And I would show this to the elders. I would show them the post. I'm like, "Do you see these posts she's making? I haven't said anything negative about her. I have not said one bad thing about her. I have not gossiped. I have not said anything that would disparage her." And I wasn't even hateful to her. Like for a period of time when I came back, I tried to get back with her because I felt bad. Like maybe I did make a mistake. And you know, thankfully she didn't take me back. But I was like, "You see the things this is not right." Like I'm not saying anything about her. I'm not saying one word. I actually felt bad for her. I felt sincerely bad. I didn't want to put her through this. Ugh. This is just a breakup. It's just a breakup. Simple and clean. And it's turned into this huge whole mess at the behest of the organization and elders, and probably caused both of us more pain than it should have ever done. And I just, you know, I just had to sit there through it all. Eventually, I'm like, the CEO came, and I remember talking to the CEO. I was like, "Do I ever come up in conversation like for recommendation?" Like, because I've been here for 2 years and I've been working hard diligently. I go out in service. I do my assignments, whatever assignments they gave me. I did it diligently. I just don't understand why I'm not getting appointed as a servant again. And he was like, "Jonathan, I'm going to tell you this. You need to move to a different congregation." And he's like, "I'll just tell you that you need to move to a different congregation." I don't know if he was insinuating anything there, whether they talked bad about me or whether they kept not recommending me for whatever reason. I have no idea. But if any of you guys know, elder bodies are real buddy. Like if somebody's in there or friends of somebody, sometimes they can be really divisive, but in some like congregations, it is really buddy. You know, I look out for you, you look out for me, and your interests and my interests. And her dad was an elder. He was an elder on the elder body. So I have no idea. I'm not going to make any claims that they were, you know, trying to hold me back. I have no idea because I wasn't there or in those other meetings. But that's what the CEO told me. The CEO told me that it was just best for me to move congregations. So I did move congregations, and I got appointed as servant just like that within a matter of months. And, you know, I started serving again. And if you watch part 1, 2, and 3 of my Why I Left Jehovah's Witnesses series, I kind of start that series off because I served at Bethel, got sent back home, and then like after I got my privileges back and everything, I felt like I had missed out on that opportunity in Bethel. So I actually decided to move back up to New York and try to commute. And that's where that story kind of started off. Like I had been commuting. I mean, I wasn't commuting, but I was living up in the area trying to commute. Um, and then that's when Toni Morris left, and that's when I started doubting, like, and like reflecting on just a lot of things that started to make me doubt and truly investigate the religion. But that's kind of my whole history with Jehovah's Witnesses. I want to thank you guys all for your support. There's a lot of haters in the comments too. People calling me crybabies for a crybaby, or like I was a bum not getting a job or anything. You have to understand, this was during COVID. I had no job. I had no car. I was trying to get a job. I was applying in every single day, and I did work even a part-time job, but it wasn't even enough. These people, Jehovah's Witnesses who are still physically and mentally in, that hate on people who leave, are just so out of touch with empathy and humanity. It's so ridiculous. Like, I don't even want to bring up the topic of discussion because it's just, there's no reasoning with them. They can't imagine that someone would leave an organization based on logic. You know, they can't imagine it. But I know a lot of ex-JW content creators, they just get wrapped up into like performance too. I feel like that a lot of them aren't authentic. They kind of just repeat the same points. The organization will publish something and then they'll just go over and analyze it. And that's fine. But I just wanted my experience to be more authentic. And eventually I want to move my channel away from that. I've been out 2 years. I've been out 2 years, and I just now decided to make videos on it. And I kind of want to document my experience and maybe some other videos, like regarding the JW financial model and other life lessons that I've learned. But eventually I wanted to just branch out to like critical thinking, because as I've entered the world, I've realized that there's not a lot of critical thinkers. There's not a lot of people leave the cult to join another cult, or they just, you know, subscribe, hand over their conscience or their thinking to someone else, and it's just terrible. We need independent thinkers in order to progress in the world. We need to be able to change our opinions. We need to be able to have open discourse. But those are some of the things I believe in. And we need to be not afraid to hold controversial opinions. Like, people are so brainwashed to be like, I have to hold this opinion because it's politically correct. All right. Modern society wasn't built upon what was politically correct or incorrect. I mean, kind of it was, but people have to introduce ideas that might be different than what they think now. And it might be good, it might be bad, but that is why we have to talk about it. And that's kind of what I want to branch my channel into, just like modern world events, thinking patterns that we see, and how we can become critical thinkers in today's society, and how we can just help other people to do the same. But I appreciate you guys for following my story, and I appreciate every single one of you. I do. I love the comments. I love the engagement, and I read all your comments. But hope you guys have a great rest of the week. This will probably be one of my last videos for a while. I might post next week, but appreciate it and have a great day.